We mentioned before, I gave you the top 10 my power rankings for Davante Adams destinations, and he was the original top 5 list of best spots for your team, for him to land, and the answer was your team, 5 straight spots. There's a new one of those.
There's a new one, yeah.
Because DK Metcalf has demanded a trade, and apparently the Seattle Seahawks are going to oblige him, and the top 5 teams that should go get DK Metcalf are your team. Your team.
My team.
And seeing this news...
Only my team. Nobody else's team, just my team.
Seeing this news, okay, I have no idea what happened there last year. All I know is Jackson Smith and Jigba was getting the ball a heck of a lot, and you saw what he was able to do with it. And having DK Metcalf in a fantasy league, you had him as well, I believe, last year, TJ.
Excellent.
He didn't get in the end zone a lot, and the offense, but the offensive coordinator is no longer there. You know, Ryan Grubb went to Alabama, and they have a new way of doing things up there. But DK wants out, and the team is going to oblige him. And you know, all I can say here is this. Is that are wide receivers becoming the new running backs in the league? Because if he wants to be paid, and he wants to be paid $27 million or $28 million, whatever the market value is going to be, Brandon Ayuk said it last year, and the Niners are already thinking of getting rid of that contract. If you're not Justin Jefferson, we'll see CeeDee Lamb got paid. We saw, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. We're going to see Jamar Chase get paid. T. Higgins, they're trying to figure out what to pay him. He's going to get $26 million right now on the franchise tag. Is that what's happening right now? Mm-hmm. That, hey, you're 27 and you're one of the biggest beast of a physical receiver around. We'll let you walk. Why would Seattle do that? Must be something going on behind the scenes. We don't know. They're very private about these affairs. I don't know. All I know is I saw what the Eagles were able to do with A.J. Brown, who is in the same draft and is the same type of receiver, right?
Yep.
I saw what he's able to do there. Why wouldn't you go get DK Metcalf if you can? Certainly, it's just 1 year. It's a 1 year deal. He's going to want a new deal, I guess. Yep. But if he's willing to go on the, I guess, Stephon Diggs plan, which is show up, ball out, go walk to free agency, or unfortunately for Diggs, he blew his knee out.
Yeah. Or you trade for him and get an extension done now. Save yourself some money next year.
I don't know,
getting
man.
a deal done immediately.
It's wild what's happening. Why would he be available? And then the free agent market now has DK Metcalf and Davante Adams on it. One's 32, the other's 27. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get the financial aspect of this.
DJ's a trade request. He's not a free agent. Dude, he's available.
My bad.
I mean, it's going to cost. It's going to cost.
You know what I'm saying? He's on the market,
of course.
So it would cost a team that gets him $18 million non-guaranteed, yep. And the Seahawks would save almost $11 million on a dead cap charge of $21 million. They'd save almost $11 million by trading him.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, our wide receivers now will take you, and you're great. But when it comes time to paying you top of the line market money, we're priced out.
Well, Seattle's in a weird spot. They don't really have the quarterback of the future there. They're trying to get a little bit younger. Defensive-minded head coach wants to run the football. That's not the real spot for a guy like DK anymore.
Let me ask you this question. Once upon a time, there was a defensive-minded head coach who loved to run the football in Tennessee who said, I will trade A.J. Brown over my dead body. The guy got traded. General manager got blown out. He's no longer there. And the guy who they traded him to won the Super Bowl with him after paying him. I'm not saying that that's what's happening in Seattle. And obviously, John Schneider knows a hell of a lot more about roster building than I do. Well, and there's something maybe going on where they're just like obliging him. There's the door, sir. But I'm just wondering what's going on. Because right now, there's a free agent, Davante Adams, and there's a guy available like a free agent in this guy.
Well, DK probably saw the Brandon Ayuk trade and like, hey, I'm better. Deal last year, I'm better than this guy. You want to pay him $30 million a year, $32 million a year?
That's what I'm asking is, would you rather pay someone like Saquon Barkley $20 million, James Cook like 16, 17 million bucks a year, than a wide receiver that you're dependent on not having Patrick Surtain standing across from him and erasing him?
Not a true number one, DK, either. He works better with a complement around him.
Well, so you could say that about any
He's
player
not as
in
good
the
as
NFL.
A.J. Brown, we can agree, right?
I don't know. I think he's
Really?
I think he's as good as him.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. A.J. Brown, it depends on what you believe in. You know, is Jalen Hurts better appreciably than Geno Smith? I mean, Geno could spin it too. I think it is. Again, I've seen DK just dominate games. He is as physical as they come. You need to put on your hard hat to stop this guy. I just, again, there's always an iceberg. We only see the tip, and there's smart people in Seattle that clearly know what's up. And do they want to pay him $28 million a year? Do you want to pay a wide receiver $28 million a year? It's a question that you need to have answered. If you're the Minnesota Vikings, you're paying him more than that because Justin Jefferson is that guy.
He's as good as two wide receivers.
You can say that. But wide receivers can always have that day when Marshawn Lattimore is standing across from Mike Evans. You know that. You sometimes have your wide receivers, and it's just like 1 week in your fantasy league, that guy gets nothing because it's the matchup that you don't want to see.
Yeah. There's kryptonite, and then there's also 3 or 4 weeks where he's going to have, 6 for a yard and a half and 3 touchdowns.
But this is why running backs, they're much less ball dependent. They're standing right next to the quarterback. And they can do more than just run it as well. And that's why someone like Debo is more valuable, in my estimation, than most wide receivers.
Isn't it a lot harder to run 20 yards and catch a ball than it is just to have it handed to you?
Again, I'm just wondering again, are wide receivers like running backs where like we will have you up until a certain age, and at that point in time, we're just not paying our wide receivers 28, 30 million bucks. That's just not the way we're building a team. We can get young guys like the Green Bay Packers and go to work. Like the Kansas City Chiefs go to work. The Eagles are kind of the outlier, paying their guys top of the line. And then there's the case of the Dallas Cowboys. Last we heard, they're going to be selectively aggressive in free agency. This is what we heard at the top of Combine Week from Stephen Jones. And we had our fun, creating selectively aggressive laminates for a tour and merch and things like that.
You had your fun, not
okay.
we.
Well, that's a royal
we
we.
didn't have fun.
And then I heard at the Combine that the other than Odigizua and maybe one other, they're all out on their free agents. They're gonna churn them over. Mm-hmm. And that made sense with the selectively aggressive part. But we had yet to hear from Jerry, who at the Zach Martin retirement press conference today did speak with reporters.
Oh, yeah, that was today.
It was. And Jerry had this to say. Quote, I don't think aggressive is the right word about being more aggressive in free agency. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking at free agency as a place to fill voids.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so. They did just restructure Dak's contract along with CeeDee Lamb's, and that means they got to spend the money somewhere. And Odigizua is one. Obviously, Parsons has got to get paid. He's not a free agent,
Absolutely.
but you got to take care of him.
This takes a nice chunk out of the pie.
So I'm
more pie now.
I think he's not looking to fill voids with free agency. I don't know. I guess they just want to keep drafting guys. They are pretty darn good at it.
They've been pretty good.
They've been
for the most
hitting
part, for sure. Like I've said,
top half of the league for sure.
Just the issue is where's the weaponry for Dak? You're going to pay him this money. You're going to pay CD this money. Where's the weaponry? Where are we going to get a running game where it's more than just half a season of top notch Dowdle? Where are we getting that second receiver from? What are we doing? But so One Jones says we're selectively aggressive. I mean, it's good Jones, bad Jones. Is that what's happening right now in Dallas?
Nightmare.
What are we going to do if they're not selectively aggressive in free agency? What are we going to do with these laminates? You know what we do? We send them with all those Bills
Bills
championship
Super Bowl,
gear from the 90s, right?
Chiefs three-peat t-shirts.
Yeah, wherever those exist.
Yeah. Good one.
We can give those people. Hey, you get a free selectively aggressive laminate.
19-0 Patriots shirts.
Yeah, those 19-0 Patriots, wherever those are.
Yeah. They're out
I
there
guess.
somewhere.
Well, the thing is, those products don't technically actually exist for real. So
why not trade for DK then? Trade him. Trade for him.
Does that Rich? Ask you a question. Does that sound like that makes sense to you?
I don't know. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is your guy. I mean, I don't.
Well, I mean, just yes or no. Does it seem like it makes sense?
Yes, it does make sense.
Okay, then that's why we're not going to do it. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey,
'Cause it sounds like it makes
trade
sense.
for DK.
Okay.
You draft Genty.
Put that away.
Let's go.
Put that
What
away.
are we doing?
Put that away.
You describe, for those on the radio, you have to describe what you mean by it.
Tell him, feller, since it was
Okay,
yours.
it's the release of fandom certificate that Jay Felly created.
Fandom.
And the multi-hyphenate
So good.
audio executive of the Rich Eisen Show, also graduate of Mold School, is also a legally authorized.
Mold School.
I'm going to burn that after
Notary
the show.
Republic.
He's a notary.
Yeah. I got extra stickers right here. for you.
always
My
wanted
goodness.
to be
I mean, what don't you do?
Got extra
I've always
No
wanted
wonder
to be
you
a
drive the
public
car you drive. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good time to come to the Raiders, man.
Stop.
Very
AJ.
welcoming fan base.
Do it.
I did put the certificate away. No, listen. I obviously the Cowboys are always fascinating to me. They're restructuring for a reason. They have to reslice the pie. Mike isn't going to get it. Mm-hmm. You know, it was a very nice friendly deal for the team for Odigizua.
And even at that, I was reading comments of people complaining.
About
It's just
what?
About it was too much for him and blah,
Not
blah,
too
blah.
much.
But it's like,
Are you
look,
kidding me?
at least
That
we're
guy
doing
could've